Hello, my friends. Jill here from Jill Ortiz Fitness, and I am here to talk to you today about taking back control during the holiday season when it comes to huge meals like the one that's coming, Thanksgiving. So I know what it feels like to end that Thanksgiving meal and immediately feel regret, disgust, and just wanting to take back everything you ate because of how you feel, waking up the next day, feeling uncomfortable, and then being out of control and continuing that through the rest of the year. So I want to give you a little bit of background on myself. I feel like I'm living the 2.0 version of myself right now and sliding into the 3.0. As you can see, I am a former VP of Finance and Accounting, and now I am currently a virtual personal trainer and weight training mentor, a group fitness instructor specializing in HIIT training, a portion control and mindful nutrition coach. And I've also created my own macros nutrition program. I'm a menopausal metabolism coach and a former bikini competitor and Spartan racer. I recently moved my family from New York to Florida. And like I said, I don't think we ever change who we are, but it's always great to level up and become the next version of you. For us, it's the one that's in more control. So let's go ahead here and talk about, again, we're not changing the person who we are, but we always want to get closer to the person who we truly feel we should be. So here you see two pictures of me. One was before I had a plan, before I was in control, back when I was that VP of Finance and Accounting, yet not happy with myself. I was also a new mother to two children. When I say new mother, my oldest one was about 4 years old, my youngest one about 2 years old, and I was just very uncomfortable with myself. You can see the vibrancy of the new me and feeling so much better in my skin after learning the tools, the tricks, practicing, giving it time, and really becoming that person who is much more in control of my nutrition habits, my exercise, my mindset, and has a solid plan. Whether I completely follow that plan all the time or not doesn't matter. It's more that you have a plan and are working on following it, getting better and better, and adding more tools to your toolbox. So I want to ask you one question. Are you dieting too hard? I've seen this so often, especially on days like Thanksgiving, but just in general as well, where so many women try so hard to diet, to calorie restrict, to stop eating carbs, to up their protein, to count every calorie, and it just doesn't work. It's kind of like a tennis match. The harder you hit that diet ball, the harder it comes back and sometimes hits you in the face. So if we can stop dieting so hard, then maybe we won't have that binging that is the rebound of that ball. If we can play a little bit closer to the net and have a fun little volley, then life gets a lot easier and dieting is not so hard. So what does that mean? It means that if you are trying so hard to restrict yourself, you're gonna end up overindulging more often. If we can find that happy medium, then I think you'll find yourself a lot happier with yourself and not going through that cycle and that mind game of feeling like you have to diet, struggling with the dieting, failing at the dieting, and then overindulging and feeling a lot of regret. So when it comes to a meal like Thanksgiving or a birthday party or another occasion where you know there's going to be a lot of food, I want you to know that you're allowed to have the things that you love. But we have a really fun tool here that you can use. It's a wheel, and I want you to make sure that you carry this tool with you into these situations and know that you can have what you want, but you have to take some steps first. The best thing you can do on a day like Thanksgiving or another holiday where there might be salty foods or fatty foods or a lot of food, and you're an overindulger like I used to be and still want to be, then I want you to start with water. Drink plenty of water all day long, stay hydrated, and when you get to that occasion, the first thing you should have in your hand is not that glass of wine. start with a glass of water. What this does is it not only helps you in case your hunger is actually dehydration, but it gives you a chance for your mind to settle. When you walk into a house and there's a party about to go on or a big meal, you're going to smell all the smells and they can be triggering. So if you can take a moment to get used to those smells and have a nice big glass of water, it's going to give your brain that time to relax and not feel like you have to have what you're smelling. So that also gives you a chance to have some water before you start drinking any alcohol, which is going to help you dilute that alcohol a little bit, keep your belly lubricated, keep your digestion strong, and help you to not overdo it and start off by having that alcohol, which might take away your control a little bit. So after we start with that water, I also want you to start filling up on veggies, because if you really are hungry and you haven't been eating balanced nutrition during the day, you saved all your calories, which I hope you're not planning on doing, because like I said, the more you restrict, the more you're going to binge later. So if you can start with some vegetables, that'll fill that belly. It'll help you to calm down that hunger. If you're feeling hunger pains, then I want you to start with the veggies, because number one, if you're about to overeat, you're not going to indulge and go crazy with something as low calorie as vegetables. It's the same thing when you're filling your Thanksgiving plate. If you can start with the vegetables instead of the carbs, maybe you won't even have room for so many of those carbs in the end. Okay. The next thing I want you to do is focus on protein sources. Why? Because they sustain our hunger longer. And again, they're not as prone to being fat-filled and overindulging on those things. So I want you to make sure you find your vegetables and then your protein next. The next thing is those things that you really want, whether it's your wine or your carbs or your sugars, your desserts. You are allowed to have those things. I want you to enjoy them for the taste. What's really important is that first bite that you're expecting, where your brain has that amazing explosion, knowing that this was the taste that you were really looking for, that your eyes saw. And I really want you to savor your last bite as well, telling yourself, this is it. I'm okay with being done for now with your carbs, okay? If you're still hungry after you've gone through this wheel and you want more, I want you to always know it's okay to have more. I want you to figure out in your head, are you looking to fuel your body, or is this just FOMO, fear of missing out on these foods until maybe next year? You can make these foods any time of year. They're not going anywhere. So sure, you can have more, but guess what? I want you to go back to the top of that wheel and start with water again. It'll do the same thing it did the first time. It'll help you rehydrate. It'll help you give a moment of pause to see if you really, really need these foods. Then you got to go back for your veggies, your protein, until you get back to that next glass of wine, that piece of pie, the scoop of potatoes, or whatever it is that you've really been wanting. I want you to try to focus on having one plate and filling it with those things that you really, really want to have, and making sure that they're the healthiest food that you can. If it's possible, make something in a new way this year with a healthier recipe that all will enjoy and that you won't regret later. So what if you try and you fail? I know this happens. We have the best intentions. We make lots of plans, but sometimes it just doesn't work the first time. Maybe not the second time, but over time, you'll get better and better at these techniques, and it'll get easier. It'll become like a new norm as you become the 2.0, 3.0, or even 4.0 version of yourself. So I do have a tool though for you in case you feel like you've failed when you wake up that day after the big meal, the occasion, or Thanksgiving dinner. I have created 3 5-day Kickstart cleanses over the last several years. And this year in 2022, the Monday after Thanksgiving, we've got a bunch of people going through 5-day Kickstart cleanse plan C together. I want you to have that opportunity to try this amazing 5-day meal plan that it will put you right back on track, help you lose at least 5 pounds in the 5 days of the plan, and feel less bloat. You're going to get back on track. And from there, I know you'll see a ton of success. So let's start with plan C after Thanksgiving. Maybe you'll try plans A and B either after the new year or sometime during December if you're looking to put on that little black dress and feel your best. Maybe if you're going on vacation, try one before to lose that bloat. And when you come back from vacation, if you've overindulged a little bit or had one too many pina coladas, maybe that's a good time. You'll have these Kickstart cleanses forever. And a great time to get it is with my Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale. You're not only going to get all 3 Kickstart menus, you're also going to get my Jill's Killer Abs 3-week or 20 workout abs program to help you tighten and tone your belly and your booty. And I'm going to do a one-time workshop in December educating you on my Foods for Fat Loss program, where you can learn all about macronutrients, carbs, fats, and proteins, and learn the right calorie range for you and how to calculate that. So if this hasn't helped you, let me know how I can. You can always hop over to JillOrtizFitness.com and click on book a call to schedule a consultation with me as well. In that call, we can go over where you are, where you want to be, what's holding you back, and what's going to propel you to success in the future. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to working with you. See ya.